Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Today, I actually want to do a reading on Jack the Ripper. Everyone knows of him. His, what he's, who he, not who exactly he was, but what he's known for. Most unsolved prolific serial killer, first serial killer, the first one in London. It's still unsolved today. I did just randomly look at a couple. I've always been kind of like drawn to this case too. I think because it was just so unsolved. It's like after all these years, this was back in 1888 this happened. So I decided this morning to look at a couple of finally solved Jack Ripper, we know who it is type videos in 2025. And I went back a whole year, like, and I only looked at three, and they all have someone different, but they know it's solved. Interesting. So I don't know if we'll ever have it totally solved because I do believe that there was a cover up back then. I always thought that somehow, for some reason, uh, someone was covering up who it was. But we'll see. Let's look at the cards. Let's see if we can get more characteristics of him or why he was doing it, why he stopped. There were a number of 5 that we know of, and let's see, and they were all basically, ladies of the evening, lived in that area at least. So let's see. Give us information on Jack the Ripper, please. Please tell us more about Jack the Ripper. Well, he went into bank failure from bad choices. So this was a man who did have some kind of money or have you, but made some bad choices. Bank failure. That could also be a business failure, right? Bad choices. Definitely some bad choices were made. And then he was kicked to the curb. It could be that he was married and they went bankrupt. He failed something, and the marriage, she kicked him to the curb because maybe he spent all the money or something, or it was a repeated situation where he would always spend money. I do believe he had some kind of, I don't know what the drugs were back then, but some kind of addiction. I mean, it could have been drinking too, just a highly, he drank a lot. So it's some kind of addiction where uh, he kind of lost it when he drank, and he would drink, like, or do drugs, whatever his choice was that he did, often. This was turning around. Uh, ooh, someone's keeping a secret. This woman, this woman who kicked him to the curb is keeping the secret because she knows he did apologize about things, um, but she knew it was fake. So I think this woman who kicked him to the curb kind of had the feeling that he was the one doing it, killing these women, along with the fact. So basically, this is what I'm picking up. All right. The dude made bad choices because he spent money on his addictions and so forth. They had bad choices. They didn't have money. They were losing money. She couldn't handle his behavior and everything else, right? Um, and she knew, so she's like, "Hey, I know it's you. Knock it off and get the hell out. Leave me alone because I'm not going to be." part of this, and she promised to keep the secret. I just won't tell. I won't tell. But leave me alone and get the hell out, basically, is what she was saying. He did try to come back and apologize, but she knew it was fake. You know what? I wonder. I wonder if this woman that he was either married to or stayed with, you know what I mean? Maybe they weren't married, but someone who counted on him and he counted on her was one of the women that were actually killed out of his anger and his rage. Because let me tell you, those killings showed pure rage. He hated women. Something caused him to hate women completely. Treat them as if they're really nothing, right? Oh my God. And yes, the police, someone in the police at that point in time were putting on a show. Can you see that? What's wrong with my cards? Okay. They were putting on a show. The police were putting on a show. Someone definitely covered up what they knew, covered up who it was. And I think it was whoever did this, whether they knew who it was the first time or they found out on the last kill and they realized, oh my God, it's you. It's that knowledge. And the cops, and for some reason, instead of just arresting him, and that the cop actually, I don't know if they were related to this dude or what, but said, do it again and I'll pull you in. You stop and you stop now. And I think he may have brought him, like, made him leave, or he probably told him, get the hell out and don't ever come back here. Something, or he could have told him, get into an insane asylum, or I'll put you in prison, But the cop definitely, there was that showed right there. Okay, let's see. Tell us more. Who was he, though? Who? So we have a woman who knew, and he may have killed her. One of the ones that were killed, or he killed because of the pain from her not, you know. He was known as someone who knew his stuff. The wise old owl, the wise owl. He was good in something professional, but his addiction took over, and he had two faces. People on the streets would never suspect him. People, mm, people would never even suspect that he did it. He kind of knew what he was doing, but he ruined it with his addiction, and then the addiction took over and hate and everything else. He was someone who may have had some bad health associated with him, as in, we know mental health, but physical health problems. Physical health problems. And again, I think he relied on this woman, at one point, this woman who told him, get out because you're ruining my whole life. You're destroying your life. I can't handle it anymore. Yeah, that or he knew a woman. Maybe his mother was having bad health, and that also broke him. Yeah, a mature woman. So I think simultaneously in this time frame, he either lost his mother or she was in very severe health and in the hospital. This other woman that he was either married to or with found out that he was doing what he was doing and told him, "Get the hell out." And he may have killed her too. And it might not actually, instead of her being one of the ones that were killed, and we know of them, she may have been killed in a different manner. And so they never linked him to any of this or her death. It may have looked like suicide or something else, a break in, what have you. Okay, hold on. Let me pull another one. This is interesting. It's given me a whole different point of view of what I actually kind of put in my mind as for years ago what happened. Yeah, he's a coy fox. Oh, come on. And he was risking things and he didn't care. He got into the mode of high risk and getting the exhilaration of it. He kind of, I think in the back of his head, he kind of thought he would never go to jail anyways. Somehow he knew that. I don't know if he knew he had pull with someone in the police department or what. And I'm not saying the whole London police department were corrupt. I'm saying someone that had pull in that police department did know, finally know who it was. And I think it was that person that's, they couldn't like turn him in, turn him in. Hold on. For whatever reason, whether it was relative or what have you. Um, but they got him stalked. Hell, for all we know, he could have went somewhere back boony somewhere and killed this guy and just kept it quiet. And, could have been because we don't know everyone that was put as a missing person back then, do we? So who knows? But I do know, like back in that day, especially, like it still is now. Say your brother or even your cousin, like people know you guys are related. It's a great shame. People took it as the shame is worse than the crime because they know that we are related to them too. So it could have been something like that. All right, Jack the Ripper. Hold on, I need a drink of coffee. Jack the Ripper. There was something about it's almost like he fantasized when he was doing the killings. One that was purpose because he just hated. He always replayed the hate of I think this woman that would not accept him back. All right. And because like he would cut up faces and everything, you guys. And the abdomen and even the groin. So people kind of took that as it was a sexual thing. Um, but there was pure hatred. I think he took organs too, right, guys? That was just to show the power he had. He needed to show power. He needed to feel powerful. Of course, goes to show how much of a coward he truly was. And for some reason, he had a pure hatred towards women of the night. Maybe this woman that kicked him out became a woman of the night and made her own money, right? But he as time went on, he felt emboldened. And he even did it one morning in pure daylight. So let's see. All right, so dating history or killer knew the victim. So yes, he did know one of these victims. He did kill them out of the hatred that like we just said, what I just said. Well, in the future, the killer may admit guilt, but if he had, we would have known that by now. But two, I think he actually was confronted by it by her, who promised to keep the secret, right? She might have even said, "Please just go do it yourself." But I won't say a word. But he turned around and he ended up, I think, killing her from what I'm getting here. Or it could also mean in the future we do find out who the hell it really is. You know what? With all the evidence and everything that's put together, though I do think there's some evidence that was uh, taken out. I think there was one documentary about that, but I didn't watch that one. It was just like the title of it. Someone coerced the killer into murdering the victim. You see the devil there? That's what I'm saying about like in and out of reality, fantasy, whatever. Like he could easily be thinking the devil's making me do it type BS. That's going more into his drugs, his drinking, whatever. Different whole personality. Because people on the streets will never think it's him. Um, the murder weapon used will provide valuable clues. Again, but was it contaminated or what have you, right? These different evidence things that they're trying to do DNA on and stuff. We don't know how good they are anymore all this time later. Premeditated murder, killer planned out the details in advance. Well, we kind of know that because he planned on killing these women. So I just want to finish up. Basically, one more. Hold on. And we have the cops that put on the show. What else about Jack before I finish up, please? Who? Yeah, neighborhood. And he was right inside the neighborhood. He lived amongst them. And that's why I'm like, okay, they I keep getting he just kind of fit in. He fit in. Nobody would think. You know what I mean? He probably acted appalled over the whole thing, saying this is horrible, blah blah blah, faking it all the way. But so if he killed the woman, killer knew the victim and killed her, history, then that backs up the other card I got. The other couple of cards. She kicked him out, said, "I keep the promise. Don't tell anything." But he turned around and, yeah, killed her. Ah, boy. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hold on. Oh, my. He may have had a child, if not with this woman, another woman, right? We will never know because whoever, we don't know. But there is a child. That could have been a stressor too, that he found out he was going to be a father and maybe his mother was dying and blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure. But I do have burial. None of those victims were buried. So I do think maybe the cop or whoever did go out and I think he was killed. I never got that before and I'm getting it now. Like my little tidbit intuition about it never came up with that. And the witness would be her. She knew, and maybe there was someone else, or maybe the cop himself saw something or was given the tip about something, somehow related it to, oh my God, it's you. You know what I mean? And also, the cop could be keeping it quiet because of his child or children that he knows he had, and he doesn't want these children to live with the horror that had lived with the horror about it, right? Telling you. Yeah, and then he just got rid of them, you know? This is healing. Maybe it was the officer that was healing from what he had just done to stop this whole mess. Or like I said, maybe this guy did go into a psych ward, right? And then from there, never heard from again. I think maybe he went into a psych ward, but they were only keeping him for like a couple of months, but not because of those murders, because of his breakdowns, episodes. And then he disappeared because the cop knew he would go back to it and do what he had to, he did what he felt for I guess for the children, his own family shame, whatever the case, right? So, I mean, really, there's no hope card to put out because this is 1888. This is what I'm getting though, and it actually kind of fits and makes sense. Um, so that's what I got. So everyone take care. Have a good day. And that's what the card is showing me. So.